Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. But today we are talking about artificial intelligence because training AI is killing Wikimedia, which means it's killing the Commons, it's killing Wikipedia, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, Benj Edwards of Ars Technica had a really good write-up on this, and this past Tuesday, if you didn't know, the Wikimedia Foundation, that's the umbrella organization, announced that all of this bazillions and bazillions of AI scraping bots are putting a strain on the servers that basically pump out Wikipedia and more. Now, these automated bots, obviously, they're training basically on data for large language models, essentially have been sucking up terabytes of data, which is growing the foundation's bandwidth that essentially is being used for downloading all of this multimedia content. And this has risen by 50% since January of 2024. So in a year and change, this has really spiked up. Now, this is a scenario, for the record, that's familiar across the FOSS community. That's free and open source software, basically, and here we go. Now, the foundation hosts not only Wikipedia, which we all know, but they also have other platforms like Wikimedia Commons, which offers 144 million media files under open licenses, and for decades, this content essentially has powered everything from research to just search results to school projects and more. But since January of 2024, AI companies have basically been vastly increasing their automated scraping through all of this direct calling, APIs, application programming interfaces, and bulk downloads to continuously feed their AI models more and more and more information. In other words, they're just hoovering it up and causing a whole bunch of taxation on the infrastructure that runs all of Wikimedia. So this vast growth in non-human traffic has imposed steep technical and financial costs without really the attribution that helps sustain Wikimedia's volunteer ecosystem. In other words, they're not really paying for this privilege. And this isn't theoretical, for the record. This is actually happening now. The foundation says, for example, that when Jimmy Carter, former U.S. president, died in December of last year, his Wikipedia page obviously drew millions of views. That's how that's going to work. He's a very prominent figure. Not a lot of people say he wasn't that good of a president, but he was definitely a great humanitarian, and I definitely agree that he's a great humanitarian. But the real stress comes when users simultaneously streamed a 1.5-hour video of a 1980 debate from Wikimedia Commons, obviously of Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. So the surge doubled Wikimedia's normal network traffic, temporarily maxing out several of its internet connections. And Wikimedia engineers quickly rerouted traffic to reduce congestion, but the event really showed a deeper problem because the baseline bandwidth had already been consumed largely by bots scraping media at a very large scale. In other words, they're sucking up all the juice, and when we want to go watch a debate between Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan, now we've got problems. The actual humans that would be basically using Wikipedia and donating as well. So this behavior is increasingly familiar, as I mentioned, across the FOSS world. So for example, Fedora's Pager repository blocked all traffic from Brazil after they started seeing similar scraping incidents. And that's the last thing we want for Wikipedia or Wikimedia in general, because it really has been an excellent encyclopedia to the world, if you will. So GNOME's GitLab instance, for example, implemented proof of work challenges to filter all of the excessive bot access that they were getting. Read the docs dramatically cut their bandwidth costs after blocking AI crawlers, and Wikimedia's internal data explains why this kind of traffic is crazy costly. So unlike humans, who tend to view popular and frequently cached articles, bots crawl through obscure and less accessed pages, forcing Wikimedia's core data centers to serve them directly and equally to essentially that. Caching systems are designed for predictable human browsing behavior, but that doesn't work when the bots are reading the entire archive indiscriminately. But also think about it this way. If I want to learn about, something on Wikipedia, Jimmy Carter, take your pick, and I go there, I'm not going to go through that page in a second and read, the 50 odd pages, of information on the former president. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go through and I'm going to read, meaning I've already downloaded it. I'm stopping to use their bandwidth because it's cached into my local computer, where the AI rips through it, goes to the next one, rips through it, goes to the next one. And then you've got a bazillion of these coming from, you name the AI training platform. That's what we're talking about. And as a result, Wikimedia found that bots account for 65% of the most expensive requests to its core infrastructure, despite making up just 35% of the total page views. This asymmetry is actually really interesting insight because the cost of a bot request is far higher than a human one, and they add up much faster. If I spend all day reading stuff on Wikipedia and I get down rabbit holes on Wikipedia, I'm gonna read 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages, where the bots will have read tens of thousands. So making the situation more difficult is that many AI-focused crawlers are not actually playing by the established rules. So if you didn't know, a lot of websites have robot.txt or robot.txt. Essentially, that has been like an on your honor system where you can say, yes, don't crawl my page, et cetera, et cetera. And Google, for example, their web crawler has been pretty good about honoring that throughout the years. But again, if they say, screw it, we're going to do it anyway, they can ignore that. And that's what we're seeing with AI bots. Others spoof browser user agents to disguise themselves as human visitors as well. So in other words, they're trying to act like humans, and so they are not detected and shut down. Some are even rotating through residential IP addresses to avoid blocking. So in other words, they're not coming from the business class, IP addresses that would be assigned by a major ISP. This looks like it's just coming from a neighborhood, right? And so therefore, a lot of the sensors that say, oh, it's corporate traffic, we're going to limit it or block it. No, it's residential. So it looks legit, at least initially. These tactics have become common enough to force individual developers to adopt drastic protective measures for their code repositories. And this leaves Wikimedia's site reliability team in a perpetual state of defense. Every hour that they spend rate limiting these bots or mitigating traffic surges as a result of bots is time not spent supporting the contributors, the users, the technical improvements that Wikimedia has to make in order to basically continue and survive. And it's not just the content platforms that are under strain. Developer infrastructure like Wikimedia's code review tools and bug trackers are also frequently hit by scrapers, which then divert the attention and resources from the teams. So this is, in many ways, killing Wikimedia. And as a nonprofit that, quite frankly, is doing a good for the world by offering a centralized database that, okay, on occasion, they've seen issues where somebody's gone in and spammed a Wikipedia page making changes because, they hate that politician or whatever. For the most part, it's overwhelmingly accurate, and it's overwhelmingly a really good reference as a jumping off point to dive into a topic more deeply. There's been many times where I've read something on Wikipedia, and then I go and I look at the citation of where they're getting the information, and it's from a legitimate source, and I go read the source, for more information on that specific aspect of whatever I'm reading on. So this is, quite frankly, harming us. And is it really worth basically having this, all of these bots basically tear this down so that we can then go to the large language models that we're going to end up paying for in some way, shape, or form that are also, for the record, causing or costing us more energy and electricity by far than a Google search? And I think we have a recipe for disaster here. So we'll see what happens here. I fully support, Wikipedia. I think I'm gonna go donate some more money to them right now, just as a result of this. But quite frankly, this is something we need to address. And if you are developing artificial intelligence, I understand you need data to feed your large language models. But then why don't you go ahead and take some of that bazillions of dollars of seed money and, tip a few million over to Wikimedia for basically being one of your best resources ever. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where I'm just scraping as a human and no way else. Same with YouTube as well, and also on Blue Sky and Mastodon. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private, informed, and secure. Take care.